I'm really good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I love your background. I love your animals.
My personal assistants here during lockdown. I think a lot of people their work settings, their office settings have changed a lot over the last year, and in a way, it's kind of nice being able to work from home. And a lot of just said, it's so great being able to be home with my animals every day and just get up and wear my pajamas to my Zoom interviews.
Yes, definitely a perk of the job. So I know Amber Nation Heartlanders love hearing about the farm. What's new on the farm?
Oh, it's been a really rewarding year for me to be able to have a summer with my animals and to do things that I never had time to do before. Heartland has been filming for 14 years, and it primarily shoots through the summer months, and that's 12 to 16-hour days most cases. So, I leave in the dark and I come home in the dark. And this year I had the entire summer to just appreciate farm life and do things that I've always wanted to do, but just don't have time to do. Things like I milked my cow every morning and night, and I made fresh things from fresh cream and butter and milk. And I have chickens, so I had fresh eggs every day. And I was able to just jump on my horse without a time frame and say, okay, I'm just going to go off and go explore. And that was, I think it was really needed. A lot of people, this is a moment to step back and realize that they might have been running a little too fast in life and career. And I think this gave everybody a wake up and kind of said, maybe there are things that I can be taking time to do, and to spend more time with my family, and just appreciate the little things.
Yeah. So the new season starts this Sunday with a huge episode. I think that's
Yes.
a bit of an understatement. So what are you excited for fans to see this season?
I think this is probably the most speculated and anticipated episode yet in all of Heartland history. We've had seasons where we end on a cliffhanger, like Grandpa Jack laying lifeless in the snow, and that was a whole 6 months of viewers not knowing, what's going to happen, and that was also a very anticipated episode as well, of course. But I think that fans are so ready for a new Heartland episode because over the last several months of lockdown, I know that a lot of people have binge watched all 13 seasons, maybe more than once. so, so fans are so anxious for more. And I think the thought that something very emotional and potentially heartbreaking could happen is something that a lot of fans are just they don't know what to do. This is their world, and Heartland means so much. And that's probably the greatest compliment that we can get, creating a show that people genuinely love and are so consumed into the roles that we play. And really, that's the best pat on the back that I can get for what I do, because they truly believe that us as actors in those characters are real. We bring them to life. And that's what every actor hopes for.
And so this interview is going to go up after the episode is aired. So now that people know what happened, what was it like saying goodbye on set as an actor and as the character, as Amy?
It's such an interesting experience to play a character for well over a decade and to be in a relationship with someone for well over a decade. And it's kind of this false reality. When people watch the show, they're so consumed in the Amy and Ty story. And Graham and I have been such good friends for so many years, and we still are to this day. And so I remember when I first heard that he was going to be leaving the show, I said, I don't know if I can play Amy without you. You have been in this series with me since the very beginning. I don't know a time when there was no Amy and Ty. And at first I was a little hurt. I was like, but why? Why do you want to leave? and, and then I had time to absorb it and understand. And I know Graham better than most people. And I know that he always has this this desire to follow his heart. And I think that I'm so proud of him for that. And so once I accepted the fact that I knew why he was making this decision, then I could completely support it and understand it. And I went out to his place not long ago, and we had a great time, and we were reminiscing, and we were talking about, previous years of Heartland and the direction that he wants to go now. And I was 100% and am 100% supportive of that. So now it was the case of, how do we take this character of Amy, who has just been widowed, is a single mom trying to raise her child, and turn that into a story worth telling, and a story that people obviously are going to be shattered and heartbroken and emotionally devastated when they watch this episode. But then I hope they can follow this journey of growth and new beginnings, and just love and support for honoring that character, and then also honoring the relationship that Amy has with her daughter, with her family, and how everyone is impacted by death. And death is something that happens in all of our lives. Whether we're ready for it or not, death is going to touch every one of us at some point. And I think that's the biggest lesson here, is to know we never know when our last day is coming. And I think that's one of the things that makes life so special. If we all knew we were going to live forever, would we really, live each day to its fullest? So I think that is the message that I want fans to take away from, is that we never know how much time we have. We never know how much time we have with those we love. And this year, of course, has shown us that everything we know can be turned upside down in an instant. So that's what I hope that fans take from this season, and they follow this journey of Amy and the Heartland family, and know that death is never easy. It's never something that should be easy. And it's how you move forward. And that's how you honor someone who has passed away, is to know that life goes on, and we always will remember them. We always will care about them and love them. But in order for us to honor the life that they had, we have to continue for those around us.
And there's a beautiful moment where each of the characters are going around giving their favorite memories of Ty. So what were some of your favorite memories of working with Graham?
Over the years, we have had so many moments that make us laugh to the point where we have tears in our eyes. I think my favorite Amy and Ty moments, and actually Graham and I were talking about this not long ago, were all the water fight sequences and the montages, because they were just pure fun. It wasn't acting. It was just us having a good time. And I think that those moments for me are really what stands out the most. It's not the big dramatic scenes where you have to remember a whole lot of dialogue and you have to be really emotional. Those aren't the scenes for me that really stick with me. The scenes that I love the most are the ones that are very in the moment and unscripted, and just two people having a lot of fun. And so there were quite a few Heartland moments over the years that sometimes you'll see a little bit of Graham and Amber come through the characters, because like in the water fight, I was just like, yeah, just spray you, and like just have a lot of fun. And that's important when you're playing a character for so long, is to be able to find the joy in each one of the scenes and stories that you tell, because when you're really enjoying them as an actor, I feel like that comes through on camera, and then the viewers can enjoy that moment with you.
And now there's another big episode, episode 9, which Michelle Morgan, who plays Lou, she directed. So what was it like working with her as your director?
I am so proud of Michelle, and I have to say she did a phenomenal job. Sometimes it's difficult being so comfortable with everyone and then coming into a new role, because we all know that dynamic already. We know the relationship we have with Michelle as Lou, but then all of a sudden she puts on a new hat and you're like, wait a minute, you're Lou, you're not that character. And so I think she did a great job just being able to jump into both worlds. And the interesting thing was, she was also playing Lou in that episode. So that's a really hard balancing act. And so not only was she directing, but then she would have to be acting as well. So she's preparing for her role as Lou and preparing for her role as a director and bringing those worlds together. And we've seen it before on the show with Chris Potter. Chris Potter is in a lot of the episodes that he directs as well. But I was very I was very proud of her, and I think she did a great job, and I'm so excited. I haven't seen that episode yet, so I'm very excited to watch it. It was a lot of fun to be able to collaborate with her. You know, she would call me, and I don't have a lot of that kind of connection with most directors because it's a very different role, it's a very different dynamic. But Michelle would call me on a Sunday night and say, "Hey, do you have a bit of time to chat?" She's like, "I'm really, there's a scene coming up tomorrow and there's Amy and a horse and I'm hoping to do it this way. Like, what do you think?" And it was very collaborative and I really enjoyed that. And I was so honored that she brought me into that and let me kind of give ideas. And because we've been working together again for 14 years. So we know each other so well, we know our styles so well. And to be able to come together and create something that we're both so proud of, I think that's a highlight moment for me.
And the season also has a lot of callbacks to the horses that fans have really loved in past seasons. So what was it like working with the horses this season?
I think anyone who knows me outside of Heartland knows how much I love animals. If you can't tell, I've got a dog behind me right now, and there's horses out my window at the moment. But I think I myself, as an actor, am so rewarded by being able to play a role that is surrounded by animals. And this season, it, like you said, it really called to past relationships with different horses that Amy has worked with. And one of the nice moments for me was at the beginning of the episode, we see Amy riding Harley. Amy's never really ridden Harley in the past. That was always Ty's horse. And now we get to see, oh yeah, when someone passes, not only do they leave their family and friends with this heartbreak, but they're animals as well. And so we see Amy really exercising Harley and having that bond with Harley. And I think that that's very touching for me because I always think about that. If I were to pass on tomorrow, what's going to happen with my animals? Who's going to take care of my animals? And people that have animals, I'm sure they always think of that, right? It's like, well, what happens? And we're prepared for that with the elderly. And when they have animals, we say, well, who's going to take your animals in the case that you're not here tomorrow? But when we're young, we don't necessarily always think about that possibility. So that again is it's a nice story with Amy being really connected with Ty through his horse. And I think that that's a very real story. And I know if someone in my life passed and I was to take care of their animal, I would really feel connected to them through their animals. So that is a beautiful story with Amy, Harley, and then of course we see Amy and Spartan, who is he's Amy's rock, next to Jack. Spartan is really what keeps Amy together. And we have this really nice story of Spartan developing arthritis and Amy not being able to do the same thing she used to do with him, but he's still so present and he's still there and he helps her teach and work with a new horse that she brings on. So that was a lot of fun for me because the character of Spartan and this young colt are supposed to be really connected. So what the Wranglers have done, knowing that story, is they have taken Stormy, the horse who plays Spartan, and Colt, the young horse that plays the colt, and paired them in together for the last year. So they have lived together for a year. So they actually are best friends. So that works so well for our story because when we have them together, they're actually like, hey, it's my buddy. And when we separate them, they're like, where's my buddy? Where's my buddy? So it works really well for a lot of moments in Heartland because when you see those two horses come together, it's genuine. It's real. It's not us, telling a horse to go to a mark or saying, come follow me with, I've got a bucket of grain. No, it's about those two horses genuinely caring about each other in real life. And that's what you see on screen.
Thank you so, so much for your time, Amber. I think you're exceptional. You're exceptional on screen. Can't wait for fans to see this new season. It's amazing. And have a great day.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
And
You
I hope
too.
you didn't cry too much in the episode.
I did. I'm sorry. It was just, oh my God. I
And
think the fans will feel the
it's an
same,
emotional roller coaster.
but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful tribute. And then the second episode also with the tea time with the
Mhm.
saying, I don't want to spoil anything, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautifully done.
It's, and I have described this season as a beautiful season, and I know a lot of people caught me in that and said, "How can it be beautiful if Ty dies?" And again, I'm not describing that event as beautiful. I'm describing this season as beautiful because it's how everybody comes together that is so impactful. And I hope that viewers are ready to take this journey with us because it's a story worth telling.
Yeah, I think so too. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. You as well. Take care.
Bye.